All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lakers Daily. Folks, we finally have some type of traction going on in free agency rumors regarding the Los Angeles Lakers. The report is that Gary Trent Jr. and Spencer Dinwiddie remain possible free agent addition options for the Los Angeles Lakers. Real quick, we just heard that the Lakers didn't actually offer anything for DeMar DeRozan. They were just interested in him. I thought that was a little bit interesting. We keep hearing LeBron James preaching patience. We said in yesterday's video, unfortunately, this isn't a Guns N' Roses song, but Gary Trent Jr. would actually really help out this team. Spencer Dinwiddie, on the other hand, I do think he would be very beneficial, but he didn't do. It was lackluster when they picked him up around the deadline last season. But I do think having a summer of working out with the team and just having a full regular season would be beneficial. My hope would be Gary Trent Jr., although I'm still hoping, we'll make a video about this later on today or tomorrow. I'm still hoping they can find out some type of trade package for Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler. Right? Walker Kessler is being shipped as this kind of low buy here that I really love. I think Walker Kessler and Colin Sexton help out the Lakers so much. But we're talking about Gary Trent and Spencer Dinwiddie in today's video. But guys, before we get any further into today's video, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Lakers content. You guys have been showing me so much love on this channel recently. I appreciate it greatly. If you could try and get today's video to 250 likes, it would mean the absolute world to me. So according to league sources, Gary Trent Jr. and Spencer Dinwiddie are two names to watch for if the Lakers can clear enough space to use their taxpayer mid-level exception. The Lakers, folks, at the end of the day, are going to make some type of. We don't know if they're going to require freeing up roster spots. They could potentially offload Cam Reddish, Christian Wood. But once we get to that point, then you'd be looking into Gary Trent Jr. and Spencer Dinwiddie. So, none of this should really come to a surprise. There should be a move or two beforehand until the Lakers make an acquisition like this. But once again, according to Jovan Buha of The Athletic, the two names to watch if the Lakers do end up making a move would be Gary Trent Jr. and Spencer Dinwiddie. And then earlier today, we saw this article here. It was titled NBA Rumors, Latest on Davis Bertans and Knicks, Gary Trent Jr. and Raptors Lakers. So this is where it gets interesting because Gary Trent Jr. on the Lakers would greatly benefit this team. He's still putting up 14 points per game. He's around a 40% three-point shooter. He started about half the games for Toronto last year. The knock on Gary Trent Jr. is the defense. There's not too much there. He's not much of a, people like to say he's a one-dimensional player. The Lakers desperately need three-point shooting. The Lakers desperately need scoring anywhere they can get it as far as consistency goes. And if Gary Trent Jr. is going to be coming off of my bench, well, he fits a lot of check boxes. He checks a lot of boxes in that department because, once again, the Lakers need a bench scorer. And Gary Trent Jr., we'll talk about this in a second, but let's just get through this report. So Josh Lewenberg of TSN reported that the Toronto Raptors are prepared to move on from veteran swingman Gary Trent Jr. this offseason, and he has been linked with the Los Angeles Lakers, but it is possible he could only earn half of the $12.5 million mid-level exception if he were to join the Lakers. So according to Lewenberg, the Raptors were willing to bring Gary Trent Jr. back with an annual salary around $15 million. But when the negotiation window opened last month, Trent's camp was looking for $18.5 million. $25 million. This past season, he made around $18.5 million with Toronto. He was looking for something in the $25 million range. That's extremely unlikely, and a league insider told Lewenberg that he would be lucky to receive the mid-level exception. So basically, Gary Trent Jr. wants $25 million a year. But people are saying he'd be lucky to get half of that, 12.5, the mid-level exception. So let's look into Gary Trent Jr. a little bit. This past season, 71 games played, 41 starts for the Toronto Raptors. He averaged just under 14 points per game. He made 39.3% of his threes last season. So, yeah, there's some question marks on the defensive side of things, but he would space the floor for LeBron and AD, whether he's starting, whether he's coming off of the bench, whether he's closing games and coming off the bench to start, doesn't matter. Gary Trent Jr. would help with spacing greatly on the Los Angeles Lakers. But once again, that's the key component to why he joining Los Angeles, or I mean, at this point, honestly, Gary Trent Jr. joining any team seems a little difficult because he wants $25 million a year. For a bench player putting up less than 14 points per game who can't do anything other than really kind of score and shoot, he's not going to get that, like a league insider just said. So I do think the path for getting Gary Trent Jr. over to the Lakers is very feasible. But looking once again more into the Gary Trent Jr. last season, uh, great 3-point shooter. You know, we just said he made 39.3% of his threes last year. He's a career 39% 3-point shooter. But once again, fairly one-dimensional. He's barely been a little bit more than a shooter. He can take mid-range jumpers, but like, yeah, you're not going to see many rebounds. You're not going to see many assists. Now, the good news is Gary Trent Jr. does get steals. So, but once again, you know, he'd be coming off of my bench personally. But we've heard JJ Redick talk about how he wants. And by the way, he's only 25 years old. It's important. He can play shooting guard. He can play a little bit small forward, although he's 6'5", 210, so he's a little bit bigger. But yeah, 1.1 steal last season per game. 1.6 the year before it, 1.7 the year before that. On his career, Gary Trent Jr. is a 1.2 steals per game player. So the defensive issues are not necessarily poking the ball loose. He's not a complete defensive liability like some people on Twitter are making it appear to be. I don't think him going to the Lakers would affect their defense in any way, shape, or form like that negatively. I just don't think it would be a positive or negative move as far as defense goes. But keep in mind, man, the Lakers won 47 basketball games last season. And if it wasn't for the loaded Western Conference, I still think they'd be looking pretty good. You know, you barely just missed out on the play-in, had a couple of games gone your way. They were sixth in total scoring, averaging 118 points per game. But then we will look at the three-point marks. Yeah, they were efficient. They shot 38% from downtown, which was eighth in the NBA. They only made less than 12 threes per game. That was sixth worst in the league. And they only took 31 threes a game, which was the third worst in the league. So regardless of what you think Gary Trent Jr.'s defensive inconsistency or his defensive woes are, Gary Trent Jr. is needed on the Lakers. They need his scoring, or I should say they desperately need his shooting. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Spencer Dinwiddie would be cool, but I think that's just like last case scenario, and that would be fitting under like let's run it back vendetta to me. So not a huge fan of bringing Spencer Dinwiddie back, but Gary Trent Jr. would certainly turn my head a little bit. That's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Lakers content. But let me know, are you bringing Gary Trent Jr. to the Los Angeles Lakers down below?